Almost. Anin, Buju, good morning, everyone. We're going to start with our Asema offering. The Asema bowl is up over here on the stage, so feel free to come up and grab some Asema for the offering. Out of respect for all of our attendees and the upcoming speakers, please silence all of your mobile devices and electronic devices so they won't be a disruption for today, just as a reminder. And we'd like to say miigwech to all of the Mille Lacs Band hand drum singers as we came in today. Can we give them a round of applause, please? All right. So feel free to come up and grab some Asema and put it in the basket there. Yeah, sounds good. Good morning. As we're getting settled in here before we start our program for the day, just wanted to mention a couple of things. We have our, if you'd like to do a SEMA offering, feel free to come on up. We've got some a SEMA up here that you can take and place in the birch bark basket there. And we'll be getting started very shortly here. So please make your way to your tables and get situated. Keep having those good conversations with your neighbors there. We'll be started shortly. Good to see ya. All right, so let's go ahead and get started. I'll ask everyone to please find your places and settle in. You'll notice the nice charcuterie setup that we have for everyone, so feel free to satisfy your cravings there with cheese and grapes and muffins. And it's wonderful to see all your bright faces this morning. Exciting day ahead of us. Well, good morning and welcome to the 42nd Annual State of the Band Address. My name is Kelly Applegate. I'm the Commissioner of Natural Resources for the Mille Band of Ojibwe. As a courtesy to those who choose not to gather in large crowds, the State of the Band Address is also offered virtually. The recording of this State of the Band Address will be available for band members to view on YouTube after the address as well. Before we begin, I have a few housekeeping items to mention. As an appreciation for band elders, members, and band employees, there are gifts in the foyer for you to pick up. However, the gift table is now closed and will reopen after lunch. We ask that you remain seated during each of the speaker's address. As always, the beautiful centerpieces are reserved for the elders to take upon completion at the end of the day. Last, we acknowledge the disturbing events conducted by federal ICE agents in Minneapolis. We give our condolences to the family and friends of Renee Good. The Chief Executive will discuss this topic further during the State of the Band Address. We will begin today's event by recognizing the ceremonial drum that is held by Manitou Gweziwents, George Morrow, and Mayingans, Stan Nakwanabe, placed here today. At this time, I believe we need to summons our drummers up there. So drummers, if you'd like to please head to the drum. At this time, I ask those present to please stand, if you're able, as our honorable flag bearers from the Mille All Veterans Group and other distinguished tribal nations bring the flags in. Following the flags are our Mille Band royalty. We are very thankful to have a group of Mille Band of Ojibwe singers who will sing two songs. The first will be a grand entry song, followed by the flag song. Please remain standing and remove your hats as the Mille Lacs Band singers perform the flag song as we honor our veterans. They will now play a flag song. As we welcome our honored veterans, please hold your applause until they've all been recognized. Quentin Bowen Sam, U.S. Marine Corps, carrying the Mille Lacs All Veterans Eagle Staff. Ed Beargrease, U.S. Navy, Vietnam veteran, carrying the Fond du Lac Tribal Eagle Staff. Christine Lath, U.S. Navy, carrying the Leech Lake Tribal Eagle Staff. Drew Brockman, U.S. Army, Airborne Iraq War veteran, carrying the Upper Sioux Tribal Eagle Staff. Anthony Pike, U.S. Army, Iraq War veteran, carrying the United States of America flag. Renee Pewash, U.S. Army, Iraq War veteran, carrying the Mille Lacs Band tribal flag. Jennifer Martineau, U.S. Army, Desert Storm veteran, carrying the Fond du Lac tribal flag. Bernice Mitchell Diver, U.S. Air Force, carrying the Leech Lake tribal flag. Mel Susenka, U.S. Navy, Boys Fort tribal flag. Jamie Short, U.S. Army, Airborne Iraq War veteran, carrying the Minnesota state flag. Andrew Getkin, U.S. Marine Corps, carrying the POW MIA flag. And now let's give a large round of applause for all of our veterans. At this time, we will ask them to please post the colors. Let's give one more round of applause for our honorable veterans here today. At this time, we have our ceremonial pipe that's going around, so it'll be just a moment. Yep, they're on there. They're next. Yep. Yep. I do the royalty, and then I think it's up after that. Okay. Even if you have whatever you got. We would ask that any drum keepers that are present, please stand so the pipe can make its way to you. Any drum keepers, please stand. was waiting. We're starting up next. Okay. All right. Thank you everyone for having patience there while our Upwagan goes around, and in that spiritual connection we have with the Manaduk and the Creator. It's very important for us to pay our respects through using our Upwagan during these ceremonial events. Okay, at this time, I would like to recognize our Mille Band royalty. So I'm going to announce each of them, and if they would like to come up along the front here, so why don't you come on over? As I call your name, feel free to come up and stand in front, okay? All right, first we have Cynthia Hartz, Mille Band Powwow Senior Princess. Eric Gordon, Mille Band Powwow Senior Brave. Kinsley Benjamin, Mille Band Powwow Junior Princess. Dana Schwensen, Mille Band Powwow Junior Brave. Harvey Goodsky III, McGregor Junior Brave. Migwena Nasag Mashkub, McGregor Senior Princess. Ileana White, Abed G. Ishkonaganawag Senior Princess. Antonio Dodge, Gay Ishkunaganawag Junior Brave. Aishin Shabayash, Chiminising Brave. Kayliana. And Kayliana Morachamp, Monchamp from Chiminising. So to our Mille Band royalty, color guard, and Mille Band singers and drummers, let's give them all a big round of applause. All right, thank you so much, royalty. You can be seated. At this time, Wabash Kigabo, John Benjamin, will provide the invocation so that we can begin the State of the Band address in a good way. Wabash Kigabo.
Bonjour, Anishinaabe dog. Gemino ayana. Nepi minago sema dagagi gaduyan koi majatayang. Nui apagazuma sema. Minoa wisinuan gachagadig. Natam manidu naganazid minoa wager manaduma no god up and awan sema and minoa wisinuan etig. Nagaying Ngiu manidu gana bi indwa wiri wabanung javanung nagabinung giwadanung o god up and awan sema minoa wisinuan etig. Minoa oh manidu swimming baby gonna waba mananga be gija go gizis choshka beosis in a kazo god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Oh the big gizis baby gonna waba manong na bayang o god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Ngiu memangwesiwa go gonna win a mawan no banuji and god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Oh manidu yard umane ashing o god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Nagaye oh manidu Virgil ma grudging jugi pug gababuna cage in a kazo god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Oh manidu yard wili Mrs. Agai gunning o god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Nagaye Minasabi kung manidu yard mazagai gunning o god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Oh manidu yard wili chuabish kicking beisho ma minis nakwang o god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Ngyo Benesia winning we gunajig o god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Ngyo Oasia now god dejig o god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Oh manidu na yada mawajan and new Anishinaabe no kuzinid Anishinaabe jawin and o god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Oh manidu be bamo say mizwe make we up but gojanini jinakazo god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Oh manidu ga pamo say mizwe Anishinaabe king Akinagegu ga kikno monang ina wenamang wena buju minoa kumasano god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Akina manidu mizwe yajigo god up and on sema minoa wisinuan etig. Gege to go, men when Dana Wang, Gil Money Duke, doesn't mean Dwa, me when Jesus again or the McQueen of Mendoan, Gil Money Duke, the Minogana when Jagazo. A queen of Bagasinama, Gil Money Duke, the Minogana Wabama, the Mayana Janungo, Minowa, Dinaway Maganani. Nage, we do cow, oh, Jogima, Wagushin, and Kazu, we do cow, we waited the Minobama, the woe engaged the kinagagos, the chagay, the minoga gigadud, the mino wowing the magi, kinagagu, Asia way bakuma, Mrs. Agai gunning. Nagaye, we do cow a kina. Negana Ziji Goma, Mrs. Agai gunning, we do call we win the Mino Bamazi word. The Wowing Gazy word, the Kinagago is a Chigay word. Nagaye Miguecha, oh, Kagigadu and any Bijado Manungum, down in Kinazin, a Stabish and Kazun. Meanwhile, a Kina Ogimawag. Ogima Quawa, go gun away no Mawan, money do they way gunnan, me which be jawad. Meanwhile, and you, O get your dog, the be jawad o man ungum, that we do koyan, me which be jawad, me which a kinagago is a chigawad, me which a punny we do koyan. Nagaye, and you, Gikino Magana, a Kena Gikino Madi, we gummigoon, we do call, we win it, the Mino Bamazi word, Minoa, Kena Gegu, the Gogoika Kingdom Award, and Anishinaabe is 12, and Ojibwe Moen, Menaja 12, Mino Bamadazi win. Minoan, you, Gekino, Akina Gekino, Ma Gage, Gima, Gekino, Ma, Akina Gekino, Madi, we Gamigun, we do cow. We went the Mino Bamazi word, the Wangazi word, the Kinagegu, is it Chigawa, Megwa Gekino, Ma, Gawa, the Ma Gekino, Madi, we Gamigun. Minoa, Kina, Mrs. Agai, Gunny, and Anishinaabe. We do cow, we went the Mino Bamazi word. The Gogoika Kingdom Award, a Kinagego, Jibwemo, and Anishinaabe 12, Mino Bamazi, and Manaja 12. Minoa, Kina, may with Dishawajik, the Bejawa, Manungum, me which, no Nagae and Gil Jabba Quajig. Minoa, we do Kawishanam. Ma, Mrs. Agai Gunning, the Bimi would do young you, or Jibwaymoin. Gay to go. Begish, a punny. Does you Jagadig, you Jibwaymoin, meanwhile, does you Kigad, does he come over the Ojibwe and go, Mrs. Agai Ganin, Anishinaabe? Nagaye, a punny, gone away on a mission. Oma, Mrs. Agai Gunning, Anishinaabe. Meanwhile, Kina Anishinaabe go ma, Anishinaabe king. Gay to goes and a Gadini. The Anishinaabe Mino Babazi win. Migwich Kinagegu is it Chigayang, Migwich Mino Gizi Gaknungum. Begish Ganawaba Meguyig, Begish a pony Ganawaba Meguyig, being should go Dunigish, Duni, Dago Shineg, Widi and Daig. Going over Shemain Dakirusin, me or Omanik, we could do yon. Meal, me good.
All right. Let's give another round of applause for our esteemed invocation speaker there, Wabash Kigabo. All right. Could everyone please stand as you are able for the national anthem sung by Brea Sawyer?
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming, and the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in air, gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner yet wave o'er the land of the free and the home of the brave?
Miigwech, Brea. That was wonderful. Good job. Please now join me in welcoming and recognizing our Mille Lacs Band elected officials. The Honorable Chief Executive Virgil Wind. Sorry. The Honorable Secretary, Treasurer, Speaker of the Assembly Sheldon Boyd. The Honorable District 1 Representative Carolyn Bolio. The Honorable District 2 Representative Wendy Merrill. The Honorable District 3 Representative Harry Davis. I would also like to recognize Chief Justice Rhonda Sam of the Mille Lacs Band Court of Central Jurisdiction. I also want to recognize my colleagues and fellow appointed officials. I do ask that you hold your applause until the end. Miigwech. Commissioner of Education, Raina Kill-Spotted. Yeah, let's clap for each one. Go ahead. Commissioner of Community Development, Tracy Burr. Commissioner of Finance, Mel Toll. Our Solicitor General for the band, Caleb Dogeagle. And myself, Commissioner of Natural Resources, Kelly Applegate. On behalf of the Mille Lacs Band, I'd also like to recognize our visiting dignitaries today who were able to make it. We have with us today Attorney General Keith Ellison, Secretary of State Steve Simon, Minnesota State Representative Zach Stevenson, Minnesota State Representative Nathan Nelson, Mille Lacs County Commissioner and Chairperson Ginny Reynolds, Mille Lacs County Commissioner Rhonda Bornson, Mille Lacs County Commissioner Dan Whitcomb, Mille Lacs County Commissioner Jay Munson, Mille Lacs County Commissioner Roger Tellinghusen, Pine County Commissioner Roger Nelson, Aiken County Commissioner Michael Kearney, Sherburne County Commissioner Renelle Danielowski, Aiken County Commissioner Brett Sample, Mille Lacs County Administrator Dylan Hayes, Pine County Attorney Reese Fredrickson, Pine County Administrator Kelly Schroeder, Aiken County Administrator David Minke, Aiken County Land Commissioner Dennis Thompson, Aiken County Economic Development Coordinator Mark Jeffers, Sherburne County Parks Director Gina Hugo, Mille Lacs County District Court Judge Gail Kulik, Crow Wing County Sheriff Eric Klang, Aiken County Sheriff Daniel Guida. Next, our tribal government leaders. We have with us here today former chairman of the Fond du Lac Band, Kevin Dupy. We have Vice Chairman of the St. Croix Chippewa, Rick Benjamin. Chairman of the Boys Fort Band, Carlos Hernandez. And our local city and municipal government officials, the Mayor of Waukon, William Thompson. Mayor of Garrison, Robert Hansen. Mayor of Bram, Nate George. Mayor of Hinckley, Don Zaman. Onamia City Council Member, Sandra Nelson. Onamia City Council Member, Joe Borer-Inga. Isle City Council Member, Richard Benke. Waukon City Council Member, Linda Jacobson. Waukon City Council Member, Chip Fredrickson. Garrison City Council Member, Marv Matson. Hinckley City Administrator, Leah Jackson. Hinckley Planning and Zoning Administrator, Mark Perry. We're almost there. Got a few more. All right, in our education, regional, and community leaders, we have our Isle School Superintendent, Dean Kapsner. Onamia School Superintendent, J.J. Vold. Vice President of the Central Lakes College, Cheryl Damon. Dean of Students at Central Lakes College, Mary Sam. Mille Health Systems CEO, Andy Knudsen. Mille Health Systems CFO, Amy Ninham. Mille Health Systems Executive Director, Aaron Hojart. Vice President of Economic Development with the Initiative Foundation, Zach Tabat. Vice President for Community with the Initiative Foundation, Amy Trombley. Chairman of the Indian Gaming Association, David Bean. Director of Membership and Development at Indian Gaming Association, Kevin Lisi. Our Tribal State Relations Training Manager, Mary Otto. Minnesota Wild Representative, Colin Smith. Minnesota Wild Representative, Brian Bellows. We also would like to welcome our Regional Outreach Director for Senator Amy Klobuchar, Rachel Lussler-Kemp Klobuchar. We'd also like to welcome Southern Field Rep for Congressman Pete Stauber, Peyton Crotty. Couple more, I'm getting there. In our educational regional and community leaders continued here, we have Native American Affairs Coordinator for the Office of Minnesota Governor Tim Walz, Adam Savariego. And last but not least, we have our own MAST Executive Director, Scott Veely. We'd also like to recognize the Nashing School Board for being here today, so can give them a round of applause, please. All right, Let's give one final round of applause for all of our visiting dignitaries today. Thank you so much for being here with us. Before we begin, we have two video messages, one from Senator Tina Smith and the other from Senator Amy Klobuchar. So please watch.
Bonjour, Mille Band leaders and members. I'm Senator Tina Smith, your senator, and I'm in Washington, D.C., so I'm not able to be with you in person for the State of the Band, but I am so grateful for the opportunity to say hello to you all. So, as you know, I'll be retiring from the United States Senate at the end of this year, and in the spirit of reflection, I just want to thank you for the opportunity to represent you in Washington and for all the work that we've accomplished together to make life better for tribal nations. My work in Washington has always been rooted in my deep respect for your sovereignty and in the leadership and ideas of the people, you who do the work and know best how the federal government can support you and fulfill its trust and treaty obligations to Indian country. Because of all of you, your tenacity and your wisdom and advocacy, I am proud of what we've been able to accomplish together. We increased funding for the Indian Health Service and made sure that your funding continues even during government shutdowns. We secured millions in direct funding for tribal governments to recover from the pandemic and build healthier and safer communities. We restored tribal criminal jurisdiction so that you can hold accountable non-native people who commit crimes against your people on tribal land. And we found the money to improve roads and broadband and other critical infrastructure to make life better. So I am grateful to all of you, and especially Chief Executive Wind, the Band Assembly, and the commissioners for your leadership and partnership that made all of these victories possible. I also want to express my deep gratitude again to the Mille Singers and Chief Executive Wind, who traveled all the way to Washington, D.C. to perform the flag song at the flag ceremony. This ceremony marked the first time a United States Senator from Minnesota displayed the flags of all 11 tribal nations in my office. This ceremony was deeply meaningful to me, and I will remember and treasure it always. And those 11 flags remain on display in my office in a place of honor. So I will be retiring at the end of this year, but I plan on working hard for you until the final minutes of my term count down. And I will continue to find ways to make good trouble for the good of all of us long after I leave the Senate. Your voices and your stories are powerful. You are powerful, and I am grateful for our relationship of trust and respect built over many years. So thank you so much for your leadership and your partnership and your friendship and your advocacy, and I wish you all a very good State of the Band. Miigwech.
Hello to all my friends at the Mille Band of Ojibwe, State of the Band. Thank you to the leaders there, Secretary Treasurer Boyd, and of course the state representatives that are there as well. I wish I could be there with you in person. Few things going on, but I want to congratulate Chief Executive Virgil Wynn on another successful year, and I was glad to welcome him to Washington last year to discuss your priorities. 2025 was a big year for the band. You delivered on your goal of supporting tribal youth by opening a new child care center in District 3 to serve kids as young as 6 weeks old. At the opening of the center, the chief executive said, "Everything we do starts with the question, how will this serve our children?" I can't think of a governing philosophy much better than that. But you aren't just constructing new buildings, you're also putting your name on some pretty cool ones that already exist. The Xcel Energy Center was renamed the Grand Casino Arena, and now sports fans from across the country will learn your story when they head to the arena for a game. And we've already seen the power of that representation. In November, the first ever Minnesota Wild game was broadcast in Ojibwe. The Wild won that game, by the way, so maybe next year there will be a Women's Pro Hockey Minnesota Frost game in Ojibwe as well. And that team won the national championship. Our state owes so much to the band off the ice, too. You're one of our state's top employers, providing more than 4,100 jobs and even helping local hospitals expand thanks to the health insurance you provide to your employees. And you're a national leader on issues like treaty rights, economic development, and tribal sovereignty. You make our state and our country stronger. And no matter what's going on in Washington, I am focused on delivering for you. That means investing in the next generation and the future of the band, which I know continues to be a focus of your leadership. That's why I've long worked to support Minnesota's tribal community colleges, including by introducing bipartisan legislation to make it easier to access apprenticeships, skills training, and community college tribal education. Along with investing in our people, we need to invest in the infrastructure that you rely on every day. Thanks to major bipartisan investments we made in infrastructure a couple of years ago, there were nearly 180 road and bridge projects underway in our state in 2025, and I will continue supporting infrastructure projects that improve lives. As many of you know, I also work to make sure the band has safe, clean water for years to come by getting funding for the Isles City Water Project across the finish line. But in 2026, you can't talk about infrastructure without talking about broadband. That's why I fought to secure historic investments to bring broadband to every corner of our country, including a major $650 million grant for Minnesota and funding for the band to install more than 230 miles of fiber optic cable. One of the Ojibwe philosophies that has always resonated with me is the belief that great leaders make decisions not just for today, but for children 7 generations from now. Whether it's investing in the next generation of the band or 21st century infrastructure, we'll keep working together to make progress. I remain committed to working with you, government to government, to uplift the band and ensure tribal sovereignty is recognized and respected for generations to come. While I wish I could be there now, I hope you will connect with our regional director, Rachel, who is in attendance. And the next time you're in Washington, come by and enjoy the breakfast I host every Thursday when the Senate's in session. We call it Minnesota Morning. It's a great opportunity for me and my staff to meet with people from all over the state who give us some of our best ideas. I hope to see you there. Enjoy the event. Thanks, everyone.
I am honored at this time to introduce the Honorable Sheldon Boyd, Secretary-Treasurer and Speaker of the Mille Lacs Band Assembly.
Good morning, everyone. Elected officials, honored guests, to the Anishinaabe and our indigenous brothers and sisters worldwide, and the cities of Minneapolis and St. Paul. I have you all on my mind this morning. On behalf of the legislative branch of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe, I say bonjour and good morning. We hope this day finds you all safe. We got good snow cover so far this year, and today's warm and sunny. The afternoons are getting longer as the sun begins its welcome climb higher in the sky each day now. On behalf of the legislative branch, if I may, offer condolences, as Kelly had mentioned, moral support and hope for peace in Minneapolis, the state of Minnesota, the nation, and the world during these times of political strife. There is outrage among the citizens in the metro area after the shooting death of Renee Good last Wednesday by federal forces. local citizenry standing together in huge numbers against the polarizing immigration policy that seems more a federal ideology that demonizes dissent of any kind. I have a few things to say about the national scene overall, and offer some comments in support of the work of membership working on a constitution. And I'll try and tie these two things together for membership. But first, as Speaker of the Assembly, I'll open the first session of the 22nd Assembly shortly on the second Tuesday of this year, this new year. I always try to be mindful of people who come here for the first time. And the Mille Lacs Band government consists of three branches, three separate branches. First is the judicial branch, and that consists of the Court of Central Jurisdiction, Judge Dave Christensen, three associate justices from each district, Honorable Judge Brenda Moose from District 2, District 3, the Honorable Judge Bernita Humatiwa, and from District 1, and serving as Chief Justice, the Honorable Rhonda Sam. Second is the executive branch, and that's by far the largest branch of our government. That's led by Chief Virgil Wind. This branch consists of commissioners for Health and Human Services, Department of Natural Resources, Education, Community Development, and a corporate commissioner that provides a massive range of services to band membership and their families. Third is the legislative branch, where the band assembly, the legislature, enacts laws by passing legislative bills, resolutions, ratifies large contracts, and is the custodian of the band's treasury. Also in the legislative branch is the Office of Management and Budget and Department of Motor Vehicles. Allow me to introduce members of the band assembly right quick. Myself, Sheldon Boy, I serve as Secretary, Treasurer, and Speaker of the Assembly. And I think they were introduced before, so I'll run through them. District 1 Representative Carolyn Bolio, District 2 Representative, Carolyn represents the Neoshan community. Representative Wendy Merrill represents the Districts 2 and 2A. Those are Minnesinauquan and Chiminising. And Harry Davis represents District 3, which is Ojibwe. Under the Mille Lacs Band statutes, the state of the band now is the state of the band address by Chief Virgil Wind and the state of judiciary by Chief Justice Rhonda Sam is given to this body that represents the people of the band once a year in the middle of winter, when darkness begins to give way and people begin to think about what the new year will bring. Quickly, legislative staff attorney Jared Miller, Reen Reinhardt is the reviser of statutes, Danielle Smith is the parliamentarian, Deanna Sam, motor vehicles, Samira Kimpson, Harmony Stephen Powell, and Danny Jo Harkness are the frontline staff, Brianna Boyd, legislative director, and Valerie Harrington, when is chief communications officer. Now, government finances are overseen by Mel Toll, Commissioner of Finance, Chris Waite, longtime assistant to multiple commissioners, Joni Wall has been here as long as I can remember, Sarah Waite always has checks for myself and Chief Wind to sign, and the rest of OMB staff. These people have provided clean audits for many years. That's an outstanding body of work. Now, two but very important updates from on the treasury of the people of the Mille Lacs Band. The legislative branch is where the money is. And it's the duty of the office of the Secretary of Treasury to be responsible for safekeeping of that money. Membership can be proud of the government overall that in the years 2019-2020, an oversight structure was created under band statute to properly manage the investments of the band. the creation of an investment board and a statutory framework that supports the office of the Secretary-Treasurer. First, within the first 2 years of being in full operation, the investment board overseeing the band's investment advisor has made a major behind-the-scenes impact in the sense that the investment returns are the largest contributor to the financial foundation of the band, outpacing gaming revenue. Second, the band assembly is the trustee of the minor trusts accounts, and there's a major restructuring going on there that's currently in progress that will maximize investment returns, provide a robust user interface for band membership, and provide financial literacy information for our younger membership. That'll be rolling out this spring. There are many people to thank for this work: Ann Weistrick and Zeka Cardoso of the various investment advisors, investment board members Amy Jensen, Andy Christensen, Carol Pettifeso, our investment professionals that freely give their time and expertise for scheduled meetings. Band members on the board are Kate Davis, VP of Grand Casino Hinckley, Mal Toll, Commissioner of Finance, is the Vice Chair, Chief Virgil Wynn is a non-voting member due to separation of power, and myself, Secretary Treasurer, serves as the Chair, and Brianna Boyd is the Committee Secretary under band statute. Concerning the, there's a clock running here. Concerning the political state of the nation, children here see and learn very early. They're the coming generation. Electronic media algorithmically learns viewing tendencies and leads young users and the rest of us, and seems to promote polarizing political ideologies that are injuring the country. Now, there's always been this continuum of political opinion, with agreement and rule of law somewhere in the middle, and extremism on the fringes. What's troubling now is the fringes. That seems to be where the show is. That's where the clicks are, the number of followers, and financial reward for the creators of that content. There are two sides. Now, people who move around in fear and people who have no reason to be afraid simply because of how they look. But today in the metro area, those lines are blurring now. And as he mentioned before, the ceremonial drums are brought out here Sunday, and they try and help that situation down there with food and prayer and asking the spirits to help things. They're getting a little crazy down there. And we, the Anishinaabe, we've been here for a long time. Let me talk to the Constitution. There are currently band members that are working on drafting a new constitution for the Mille Band. So why? I thought we had one. Our delegates have done great work researching the issue, and I've learned from them. A fundamental reason is the one document cited in band statutes, the Constitution of the Minnesota Chippewa Tribe. That document was ratified by the United States Secretary of the Interior, July 24, 1936. Constitutions theoretically emanate from the people, and we, Anishinaabe, are not a creation of the United States government. We are not the fruit of that tree. I had the honor to speak at the Mille Lacs Band Constitutional Delegates meeting, and I wanted to illustrate what I tried to conceptualize was the vast history of the Anishinaabe on this turtle island. Anishinaabe Aki, our lands. Time immemorial. We have a different timeline, a different sense of timeline. So let me try and quickly illustrate what that means, okay? In this room, there may be seating for 1,000, okay? And there are spots for 10 people, and there are 92 tables, I asked. Now, a generation is said to be 20 years. So parents take 2 chairs, 10 chairs per table, so 5 generations per table. And so each table can represent 100 years, okay? So I'm gonna start with this table right here. Okay? So I'll leave those tables there for later, okay? Now let's imagine 2 young people sitting here in the front, okay? Like those young folks over there, okay? Now think about 5 sets of your grandparents at one table, great-grandparents, great-great-grandparents, and so on, one table. First table is 2026 to 1926, okay? I'll leave that one for now. Second table, this one here, that'll be 1926 to 1826, okay? That's treaty era, removal, assimilation, allotment, land cessions, tribes are exchanging land for trust relationship with the federal government. Third table, 1826 to 1726. Okay, there's more treaty cessions, lands in the east. The tribes formed blockades in the Appalachians, and for years, westward expansion was stalled. And at that third table, the United States becomes a country. Fourth table, 1726 to 1626. There are maybe 4,000 or 20,000 Europeans on the eastern seaboard. And there are journeys into the interior of the continent where the Anishinaabe rule the Great Lakes waterways. The 92 tables in this room represent the existence of the Anishinaabe on this turtle island. Each table represents 100 winters and 100 summers. Somewhere in the middle, the pyramids were built, and it keeps going back. Now look back at all these tables where your ancestors are sitting, and those literally 9,000 winters and summers our grandparents and parents kept their children safe on these lands. They were strong enough, smart enough, and lucky enough to make it through the harshest winters, shortages of food, wars, and natural disasters. They hunted and fished, gathered to feed the children in order to figuratively make it to the next table. They did that, or we Anishinaabe would not be here this morning. Time immemorial, Anishinaabe Aki. Now back at the first table, through all these tables and through all this time, at this first table, the federal government now says you're called the Minnesota Chippewa tribe, and your Anishinaabe blood is dilutable and can be replaced. We are not the fruit of that tree. The old people sometimes would say, even if you have the smallest drop of Anishinaabe blood in you, you are Anishinaabe. I don't think we're going away. I think we've been growing. Now, I was driving with my son Shell, and he was supposed to be here today, but he didn't make it. And we were driving last year, and I commented about what was happening in the news last year, and hearing about migrant workers getting picked up, factories and stores getting raided, and these are people with brown skin. I said, you know what's happening these days? People are being hunted now. We're all the same. We came from here, all different tribes and nations. The media and educational systems want people to believe we are different, but I don't see it that way. Hunting the indigenous people of these Turtle Islands, North and South America, Anishinaabe, Aki, is nothing new. The stories that many years my grandma, Mary Nickaboyne at Ojibwe, tried hiding my Uncle Jim Clark in the woods from the boarding school people. They came back the next day, surprised him, and took him. The people with the least political and economic influence, but have the deepest historical ties on these Turtle Islands since time immemorial. The land was the prize, the wealth above and below the ground. In land, there was generational wealth, but there were brown people in the way. Generational wealth and generational trauma are two sides of the same coin. The currency of progress in these Turtle Islands at the expense of the indigenous people and their homelands. Nearly half the states in the Union paid for Indian scalps at one time or another. Minnesota, $25. And land was being acquired by European immigrants for roughly the same cost. Two sides of the same coin. Iron ore in Minnesota, gold in South Dakota and California, and oil in Oklahoma and Venezuela. Look back at all these tables. Our ancestors are here with us here today. We indigenous people have experienced disease, epidemics, blankets with smallpox, poison, kidnapping and being hunted for money, and states being reimbursed by federal dollars. The horrors of boarding school and genocide, and still we're here this morning. We are not without scars. If the people in the metro need help, let's support them. Let's be the fearless older sibling that holds no grudges during moments of danger, because that's what family does. Dangerous presidents come and go. We'll get through this. But the sounds of the drum are the inconvenient truth that America still has a landlord. We are not immigrants. I hear tribes across the land sing loud. We haven't gone away. Think about this. Our Anishinaabe women have provided a continuous flow of blood and breath since time immemorial. Our Anishinaabe women have given us a continuous heartbeat since time immemorial. It hasn't stopped, ever. I like the Teowagan over there, right over there, the sound of the drum. So during these crazy times, remember all those Anishinaabe before us that got us this far. Those tables over there are the future. We'll make sure there are descendants there. So stand strong, have clear minds, and stay safe. That's all I have to say. Meet you. Okay. Oh my gosh. Okay, now I'll call a regular session of Band Assembly to order at the State of the Band address at the Neashing Band Assembly Chambers at Neashing, and we'll continue at the chambers over there on Tuesday, January 13, 2026. What time is it, Danielle? (11:14). Miigwech, roll call, please.
Hello. District 1 representative.
Present.
District 2 representative.
Here.
District 3 representative.
Way over here.
We have a quorum. If you would, please, members of the Assembly, I need approval to approve the agenda. We haven't done that before.
Mr. Speaker, I'd like to make a motion to approve today's agenda.
Okay, there's a motion by District 2 Representative Wendy Merrill. Is there a second?
Second.
Seconded by District 3 Representative Harry Davis. Miigwech.
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Pass.
Miigwech, Speaker Boyd. Let's give him one more round of applause. At this time, I am pleased to introduce the Honorable Chief Justice from the Court of Central Jurisdiction, Rhonda Sam.
Anin Boujou, Honorable Chief Executive and Speaker of the Band Assembly, I respected district representatives, my fellow Mille Lacs band members, employees, and guests. Welcome to the 2026 State of the Band address. It is my duty to provide you with the state of the judiciary. As the Chief Justice, I am tasked with this exercising the judicial and administrative powers of the judicial branch. I also serve as the District 1 Appellate Justice of the Court of Appeals. The Honorable Brenda Moose and Bernita Himatwa also serve as Appellate Justices for District 2 and 3. If you are in the audience, please rise to be recognized. Miigwech, as the appellate justices, we hear all cases applied as the district court, as well as election disputes and unlawful detainer cases as prescribed by the Mille Lacs band statutes. At the district court level, I would like to ask Dave Christensen to please stand and be recognized. As a district court judge, he is tasked to hear all cases involving civil, domestic violence and harassment cases, probate and natural resource matters. However, the overwhelming primary cases include family matters such as child welfare, truancy, guardianship, and adult and minor custody, dissolutions of marriage, child support, paternity, to name a few. Miigwech, Judge Christensen, for your dedication and hard work. The judicial branch, the Court of Central Jurisdiction, must adapt to the changes of community and societal expectations concerning access to justice, technology, and gaps in resource constraints. Over the past several years, the court administration has pursued remodeling and enabling 2 courtrooms to operate simultaneously, improving physical access to justice. When the COVID-19 pandemic hit, it became necessary to create a virtual opinion to fill the technology gaps and maintain operations. To address the resource constraints, including staffing, financial needs, and court administration successfully sought grant funding for Family Healing to Wellness Court. These resource constraints on the court affect litigation needs and demands, which ultimately impact timely justice delivery. We have observed how resource constraints have affected child welfare, adult and minor guardianship, and truancy cases, particularly with child welfare, where there are significant shortages of family service social workers, behavioral health counselors, and therapists and attorneys from the Solicitor General's Office and the Band Member Legal Aid Service. The court faces similar challenges. While we work toward our respective branch goals, our ultimate aim is to support band family in achieving health and well-being. To that end, we are currently seeking to fulfill a secondary associate judge position to assist with the district level cases. To support this move, we will provide some statistical data in 25. There are 1,086 cases filed. There were 1,831 hearings held, which was a 17% increase from 2024. There are 2,612 court orders issued, which there is an 18% increase. And the court closed 1,209 cases, in which a 19% increase over the prior year. Many of these cases are not straightforward by any means. They are often incredibly complex in family cases, which can be multifacted. For example, one family can have 4 or 5 different cases open simultaneously. This complexity necessitates additional judicial resources to ensure each case receives appropriate attention and timely resolution. In September, court administration has implemented SitePay, which is a new online service used to pay court fines, fees, and other obligations to the Mille Lacs Band Court of Central Jurisdiction. It allows users to make secure payments using their credit and debit cards, which may save on a trip to the government center. Instead of coming into court administration, you may file a petition or complaint remotely by e-file and pay your court fee and court fines online using SitePay. Payments can be made online at any time from anywhere with an internet connection. This can also be found on the band's website in the Judicial Branch web page. Court administration is working on upgrading the clerk of court manual, and significant amount of work has already been completed thanks to the contributions of the court administrator and the clerks. However, the manual is not finalized yet, and the updated process is ongoing. The justices and I have continued to review the Title V statute and the Judicial Code to identify and recommend potential enhancements or amendments to changes to the band assembly and Chief Winn. The judiciary intent is to complete this in 2026. As I stated earlier, over the course of the last year, the The judicial team reviewed and assessed how to improve access to justice by determining the need to fulfill the associate district court judgeship. Reunification of families and the safety and well-being of children and families are the main goal of the Family Healing to Wellness Court. Judge Tammy Swenson, Gilda Burr, Court Administrator, Lori Valance, Peacemaker, Niju, Coordinator, and Asinakwe Shagabe, Case Manager, led to the planning team for the Family Healing to Wellness Court. Over the course of the last several years, however, I would like to give kudos to the multidisciplinary wellness team from many different areas such as Family Services, Solicitor General's Office, Tribal Police, Substance Use Department, Mental Health, Ojibwe Modizing, Band Member Legal Aid, Guardian Ad Litem, and the Cultural Department. Giving special thanks to the late Joan Ake, for his contributions to the team since its conception. Court administration held numerous wellness workshops last year to collaboratively solve problems, generate ideas, and make decisions toward the wellness and grant goals. One area of improvement was to strengthen the cultural connections within the wellness phase requirements. This is improving the participants' bonds with their children, families, and their cultural ties. Over the course of last year, the team also met numerous times with the program evaluator, who will be submitting an overall report within days. In mid-October, visitors from the Mississippi Band of Choctaw Indians viewed our Family Healing to Wellness Court and gained knowledge of our programs in hopes of developing their own wellness court. In early November, the team met with the Tribal Law and Policy Institute and Paul Carey, a forensic technology consultant from Arise. Arise is the leading training advocacy organization for justice in innovation with addressing substance use and mental health. The team gained better understanding of drug testing, methodological advances and disadvantages, difference detection in windows, and the monitoring requirements of the wellness court throughout the nation. The Family Healing to Wellness Court had numerous graduates, and an early graduate in 2025 shared powerful messages about real closure and a fresh start. This individual is now paying it forward in a meaningful way as a forensic peer recovery specialist. In early December, another graduate completed the wellness court and is ready to share her journey. It is my honor to introduce our most recent band member graduate, Carrie Keg. Please come forward.
Thank you. What I get myself into. Oh, okay. Bonjour, everyone. Thank you. Bonjour, everyone. My name is Carrie Keg. December 3rd was such a huge day for me. That's the day that I officially graduated from the Healing and Wellness program. Saying those words out loud felt great. That day I was full of different kind of emotions because this accomplishment is something that I fought for with every piece of me. This journey hasn't been easy. There were days I wasn't sure I would ever stand in this place, but I kept showing up. There were nights where I questioned if I was strong enough, but I kept fighting. There was moments where I had to face parts of myself I didn't want to see, but I kept choosing healing. Even on the days it felt heavy. I'm so grateful for all the steps I took to get here, even the most painful ones, because it helped me pave my own path. To everyone that was involved in Healing the Wellness team, thank you. Thank you for not giving up on me. Even when I stumbled, you pushed me to get up. You didn't just hold me accountable, you helped me grow. You showed me that healing isn't about perfection, it's about showing up, being honest, and choosing myself. I especially want to thank Carrie Johnson. You've been there since the beginning. Thank you for believing in me even when I struggled to believe in myself. You held me accountable, but you also lifted me up. You gave me tools, support, and hope. Thank you for all the phone calls you made after our not-so-good court hearings. That made all the difference. You helped me in more ways I can thank you for. To Emma Rodriguez, who supported me since the beginning, thanks for standing by me while I worked to become the mom my children deserved. Thank you for all your advice and talks. When I walked into the courtroom by myself, you were my first supporter. Having you behind me felt like an army behind me, and that was enough to keep me fighting. Your encouragement, love, and your support helped carry me through some of my hardest moments. I will forever be grateful for your guidance. To my kids, my 6 beautiful, strong, patient kids, you are the reason I never gave up. Every challenge, every lesson, every moment I pushed myself was all for our family. Losing you, even temporarily, broke me, but fighting to heal so I could be the mom you deserve, that rebuilt me. Getting custody back isn't just paperwork. It's my second chance to love you the way I've always wanted to. This is our fresh start, and I promise to protect it with everything I have. And lastly, I want to thank myself. I want to honor the growth I've made this past year. I'm clean, I'm stronger, I'm healthier, I'm more grounded. I learned my worth again, and I'm walking into this next chapter of my life full of gratitude, humility, and so much hope. I found my voice and my direction. I am proud of the woman I became. I'm proud of the strength I didn't know I had. I survived things that once felt impossible, and I rebuilt my life piece by piece. This graduation is a reminder that healing is possible and that it's never too late to choose a better path. Miigwech. Thank you.
Please help me and give Carrie another round of applause. Her hard work over the course of the last several years have been rewarding and worthwhile. The Family Healing to Wellness Court creates powerful ripple effects, transforming the lives through culturally rooted recovery and team-based support, resulting in faster potential reunification, fewer children in foster care, and growing sober, healthier community. With 4 graduates, 4 active participants in 3 years of operation, the Wellness Court is positively impacting 33 lives within the family unit combined. In closing, the judiciary looks forward to continuing collaborative efforts between all 3 branches of government to ensure the justice system continues to advocate, support, and resolve conflict or societal needs so that band members and their families continue to lead a good life. Miigwech for listening to the Judiciary Report.
All right, how about one more round of applause for our Chief Justice, Rhonda Sam. In accordance with Title IV, Section 6.1 of our band statutes, which are the law of the band, we will now hear the State of the Band address by the Honorable Chief Executive Virgil Wind.
I'm really not that heavy. That stage is really weak there in the middle. Jeff, it wasn't that funny, buddy. Anin, Wagwish Indigenous, Bijou and Dudame, Mrs. Iganing and Dunjaba. My Anishinaabe name is Red Fox. I'm part of the Lynx clan, and I'm from right here in Mille. Every time that I get up on stage, I have a moment that I think about one of my old Nijis that passed, and he helped me with a word. And that word that you often hear anytime you're in Ojibwe territory is Anandawe Maganaduk. Translated by my Nij, Wabashki Benesibun, he said that means all my relatives. So when we look around the room today, that connection, everything that we are, the world right now is troubled, right? Everywhere you look, there's something going on. Everywhere you look, as Sheldon more eloquently put it, our world is in tough shape, We have to recognize that. We'll get to that within the speech here, but think about that. As we look around the room, all my relatives, right? No matter where we're from, we're connected, we're related, we do the same work, we care for people just the same as anybody else. So before we get started, just want to make sure that, we're thinking about that, right? All my relatives. And he was very frustrated the first time he tried to teach me that word. And we were on the phone, so I think of him often. Whew. Crazy. Anin, look at all the beautiful band members here today. Give yourselves a round of applause, please. So this year, they said stay on script. I'm jumped off 3 times already. So this year, we have a lot to report on. We'll get into the details within the speech, but we tried to make some adjustments. You have snacks at your table. People are walking around getting you coffee. There's some fry bread and muffins and some charcuterie boards. So please settle in here. I got a lot to report on. Did I say it wrong? All right. No fry bread. Oh. Shut it down. The fry bread didn't show up. Whew. So, I better get into the speech here because it's a long one. Lots to report on. So, I'm reminded of the last time that I stood here, already a year ago, and to me it feels like yesterday. The days have never been shorter, the time has never been more precious, and for that reason, I feel so blessed to be here today, reporting on the state of our band, the non-removable Mille Band of Ojibwe. Without a doubt, it has been the honor of my life to serve as the band's chief executive. Miigwech to each and every one of you for granting me that privilege. Welcome band members, tribal leaders, honored guests, employees, and friends. Mr. Speaker, members of the band assembly, honorable justices, Miigwech for having me here to deliver the 42nd Annual State of the Band Address. Miigwech to Wabashi Gabo for speaking on our behalf and setting the dish so that we could begin in a good way yesterday. Miigwech to the ceremonial drum. Miigwech to the singers who have blessed us here today and the royalty who assisted in bringing in our colors. Miigwech to the Mille Lacs All Veterans, Post, for posting the colors, as well as the visiting veterans from all the other tribal nations. Your presence today speaks to the importance of collaboration across Indian country, as well as sharing the knowledge that you carry. Finally, we wouldn't be here today without the blessings that you fought so hard for. Without the sacrifices of our Ogichida, we would not be here. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Over the past few years, we have experienced tremendous losses in all of our communities, including the passing of many beloved elders. Some of these elders were mentors to me and helped me to help shape who I am today. Before I begin my address, I'd like to acknowledge a few elders who were very important to me and many within the Mille Lacs Band. The first elder is one who, over the course of many years, developed an ironclad reputation for compassion, humility, fairness, and wisdom. This elder was a man who lived our Anishinaabe values. He used to tell me, once elected, you could either serve for the prestige or for the public good. I try to remember those words when times get challenging, and boy, are they challenging right now. He also counseled me in the art of patience and how to be mindful of the way that our decisions affect future generations and how even our best intentions can produce unexpected consequences. This elder passed away in February of last year, having served 7 complete terms as the band's District 2 representative. This elder is none other than Marvin Bruno, Ogamabe, someone who was truly one of a kind. We remember him, we appreciate him, and we are so grateful for the legacy that he left behind. This is a very hard part of the speech for me because I'm reminded, right, of those lessons. So bear with me. I promise to hold it together after this, right? The next elder was one of the band's great spiritual leaders. He was someone you would find at all sorts of community events, not just here in Mille Lacs, but throughout Indian country. This elder served the band with humility, wisdom, and strength. He was a passionate advocate for our children, our culture, sober living, and education. He taught me that we all have a past, and we don't have to let that define who we are now or who we wish to be in the future. As long as we are striving to be better than who we were, then that is a step in the right direction. This elder was a proud father, grandfather, mentor, wounded combat veteran, and respected drumkeeper. He meant a great deal to a lot of people in our community to whom he dedicated his life. He always greeted you with a smile and that old fist bump, and one of his favorite sayings was, "Nobody does it like Mille Lacs." This elder is none other than Joe Naquanabe Sr., Wabashkiba Nasibun. Big Joe, as we like to call him. The next elder dedicated her life to our children. Having spent decades working directly with them at our schools, she was the epitome of kindness and strength. She carried our teachings with grace and shared them through all of her actions, always lifting others up and putting family and community first. This elder's legacy lives on in the generations she nurtured, the wisdom she shared, and the love she gave so freely. We are better as a band because of this elder and the shining example that she set. No matter when you encountered her, no matter what the circumstances, she was the most kind, compassionate, genuine person I've ever met. This elder is Carol Nickaboyne. The final elder was a man grounded in culture, humility, and quiet strength. He carried our teachings forward through his words, his example, and his commitment to family and community. He helped so many community members and their families through the toughest times of their lives, and he always did so in a kind and loving manner. He reminded us that being Anishinaabe is something we live every day, and his legacy continues in the lives he touched and the values he shared. He always reminded us that we are not human beings having a spiritual experience, but spiritual beings having a human experience. This elder was the irreplaceable Lee Obazanabun Staples. For Marvin, Joe, Carol, and Lee, as well as all the elders and band members we've lost in recent years, I now call for a moment of silence. Let us pause, not only to honor them, but also reflect on the responsibility that we have to carry on the teachings our elders shared with us. Please join me in a moment of silence. Miigwech, thank you guys so much. One more round of applause for them, guys. I'd also like to honor another elder who continues to serve the band and whose magnificent career is nearly complete. A former colleague of mine, this elder started his career with the band all the way back in 1992 when he worked as a slot technician at Grand Casino Hinckley. In 1998, he was elected to his first four-year term as District 3 representative. He would go on to win 4 more terms, now having served a total of 20 years in the band assembly. A boxing enthusiast, this elder was responsible for establishing the Department of Athletic Regulation. He is also the founder of Davis Boxing Club, which still continues to operate out of the Majaquid Community Center. He is a proud husband, father, grandfather. This elder is none other than District 3 Representative Harry Davis. Harry, miigwech for your many years of service to the band. Congratulations on your upcoming retirement. We'll all miss you as our District 3 representative. Let's give Harry one more round of applause for his 20 plus years. As I'm sure Harry knows from his many years in band government, change is hard and progress can be slow sometimes. But to move confidently into the future, we must remember our cultural practices and make decisions accordingly. Our traditional values set forth the guideposts that never lead us astray. To say it a little differently, we must always remember who we are, Anishinaabe, first, foremost, and always. So what are our traditional values? We all know them. We just have to live by them, and that includes me. They are Nibwakawin, wisdom. Our elders are honored for the wisdom they have gained through a lifetime of experiences, challenges, and perseverance. They carry knowledge that guides us and teaches the generations that follow. When we respect and care for our elders, we honor not only their lives, but the wisdom they share with all of us. Through Nibwakawin, we learn to live in a good way. Zaga Awewin, love. Love is shown through care, compassion, and support for one another's mental, emotional, and physical well-being. It is rooted in sharing and cooperation. As Marge Anderson taught us, sharing is our traditional way of expressing love and care. When we put others before ourselves, we practice love, the love that has sustained our people through the generations and brought us to where we are today. Next, Minajatwawin, respect. We respect our elders, our culture, our traditions, and one another. We recognize the dignity carried inside by each person. When we have a disagreement with someone, we don't tear that person down or demean them to other people. That does not help anyone, and instead creates an environment of animosity. But when we show respect, respect is shown in return, and we can all live comfortably together. Guayakwa Diziwin, that's a tough one for me. Much trouble and conflict, honesty. Much trouble and conflict can arise from a lack of honesty. When we are misled or work with the wrong information, we risk making poor decisions or walking a difficult path. But when we are honest with one another, the true sources of conflict can come to light, and only then can we resolve our differences. This is the toughest word for me. Minogikain nindizuin, humility. I may struggle with this one just a little bit. But to be humble is to put our egos and our pride in check, to remember that we are individuals, yes, but the individuals that are also part of a group, a tribe of more than 5,000 strong, the non-removable Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. We are humble when we serve one another and think what is beyond what is best for us individually. It's not always easy to do, but something we must do nonetheless. Zugidi Ewin, bravery. When the time comes to protect what needs to be protected, we fight. Our land, our culture, our history, our system of government. When we practice bravery, we stand tall against fear to always do what is right. That is what true bravery is. Deboywin. This is the foundation of our tribal court system. Title 24 of the Mille Lacs Band statute states that proceedings in a court of central jurisdiction shall not be adversarial, but shall be a search for truth and justice. We do not distort reality or bear false witness against one another. We strive to see the world as it is and act with integrity, seeking harmony and justice through strength. My truth for today is that at times, I struggle with these values as well. I struggle with each of these 7 values. We all do as Anishinaabe. When life or work gets tough, when we are overstimulated, overwhelmed, or feel like nothing is going right, it's easy to fall short of these teachings. We have all done things that might be considered unwise. We have all expressed anger when we should have shown love. We have all acted disrespectfully, been dishonest, lacked courage, or made situations about ourselves. But these are not places where we should linger. When we find ourselves in such states, we can always return to the 7 Anishinaabe values that have guided our people throughout history. One second here. Just kidding. Last year, at this time, I declared 2025 the year of the child. While I want to reflect on many of the band's accomplishments during that year, I also want to look ahead to 2026. In doing so, our traditional values will continue to serve as our guide. During the year of the child, I asked then Commissioner of Administration Darcy Big Bear to develop an FY 26-27 biennial budget, submitted amendments to the band's Personnel Policy and Procedures Manual, modernize the Department of Administration's organizational structure and technology, and develop community center programs. Regrettably, Darcy's term concluded before she could complete these initiatives. Darcy did get a start on most of these tasks, but her time was cut short. I want to thank Darcy for all the hard work and the dedication she has shown the band. She continued to serve even when serving wasn't easy. Despite all of the things that I asked of Darcy, she continued to serve. Darcy, miigwech, and please know that I can never thank you enough for your service to the band. The executive branch has submitted a biennial budget to the band assembly, and that document remains under review. Since submitting our original budget request in late August, the executive branch has already trimmed back its request for net revenue by a few $1,000,000 for both fiscal years 26 and 27. I look forward to further conversations with the band assembly to potentially reduce these requests even further. Just a few weeks ago, the band assembly unanimously confirmed Gilda Burr as the next Commissioner of Administration. She's right here. She's right here in the front. She's right here in the front. The importance of this development cannot be understated. Gilda has served the band faithfully for more than 30 years, working first as a financial bookkeeper for the old Mille Lacs Band Housing Authority, then as a grants reporting specialist, and then as the band's human resources director. After a brief stint, my eyes are wacky here. After a brief stint working for Grand Casino Mille Lacs, Gilda returned to the government side in 2006 as a tribal court administrator and has been working in this capacity ever since. During her time as tribal court administrator, Gilda secured funding for and oversaw the renovation of the judicial branch's office facilities, expanding from one courtroom to 2. She also spearheaded the establishment of the band's Healing to Wellness Court, which has now celebrated 4 graduates, and the community impact has transformed many lives for the better. We've seen that with Carrie. Let's do one more round of applause, please. Although Gilda is leaving behind something very dear to her heart, she has spent the last few weeks tying up loose ends and will always be available to help where she can. I am so pleased to see Gilda elevated to this important position, and I look forward to the great things she will accomplish for the band. Let's give Gilda one more round of applause, please. This is the fun part, right? Gilda, look right in her eyes here. Although you're not officially a commissioner yet, I'll be requesting some major items from you in 2026. After you've been sworn in, I'll first be asking you to modernize the band's human resource procedures through the implementation of the Human Resources Information System, HRIS. I'll also be asking you to carry forward some work that was already started by your predecessor, including a restructure of the Department of Administration and the modernization of the band's IT services. Finally, I'd like you to adopt formal rules of procedure for the smooth running of the Administration Policy Board, APB. These procedures should cover every step of the APB process from beginning to end. The initiation of agenda items, approval of the agenda, rules for discussion, rules for voting, and finally, approval of the minutes. These are all tall tasks, but there's no one I can think of who is more equipped to achieve these results than you. Also, in 2026, the executive branch will propose an amendment to the band's Personnel Policy and Procedures Manual, whereby employees will be authorized to spend a total of 60 minutes throughout their work week studying the Ojibwe language. We are at a time in history where the band absolutely needs to make study of the Ojibwe language a top priority. Fortunately, through the past hard work and investment of the band is in a position to offer this training through Rosetta Stone, and we need to take full advantage of it because the preservation of our language depends on it. Finally, in order to look after our elders and to make sure the appropriate level of dialogue is taking place between our elders and the leaders of our government, I call on my cabinet team to organize the Mille Lacs Band's very own Elder Conference to take place at one of our casinos. Such an event should be accommodating to our elders in every reasonable way, including through the provision of important information from our executive branch departments. And although the event may require an additional appropriation from the band assembly, hint, hint, I firmly believe this is an initiative we can all get behind. Upon entering the building today, you may have received a booklet our staff was passing out. This is a combined document that includes both the band's annual report from 2025 as well as the program and services guide. Aren't these beautiful books? What's in these books can't be summarized in 2 sentences. Contact information, program services, accomplishments. Check them out. They're really, really nice. I want to say miigwech to all the directors, supervisors, and employees who helped make this book a reality. I especially want to say miigwech to the staff I have working within my own office who put this book together. They have persisted through thick and thin, and I'm so grateful for all the work they have done this past year. They are truly excellent at what they do. Can you give them a round of applause, please? The band also wouldn't be where it is today without the faithful work of its appointed officials. You may know them as our commissioners. Being an appointed official for the band is a 24/7 commitment requiring heart and dedication. Also want to mention sacrifice. These are shown every day in the hard work that they do. I issued a multitude of directives last year, and although we didn't complete all of them, we made a great amount of progress, and for that I'm very thankful. Last year, for example, I asked a tremendous amount out of Commissioner of Community Development, Tracy Burr. First, I asked Tracy to develop a strategic housing plan, and I'm happy to announce that Tracy and his staff completed that plan, the first of its kind in many years, and that it was approved by both the Housing Board and the Band Assembly. The positive effects are visible for all to see. A substantial appropriation by the Band Assembly led to 53 vacant and boarded homes being scheduled for renovation during 2025, now 38 of which have been completed and made available to our membership. Let's give them a round of applause, please. In addition, and part of that plan, 9 new home loans have been completed, and our tribal loan portfolio now totals 409 loans worth more than $28 million. Can't forget to mention the multiple loans that are already rolling forward and should be completed very soon. I also asked Tracy to initiate amendments to the band's housing policies, develop an FY 25-35 capital improvements plan, initiate renovation and rehabilitation of both Neashing schools and our ceremonial buildings, and provide upgrades to both the Government Center and the Budwewedung Community Center. In 2025, the Community Development Department produced a draft capital improvements plan, completed revisions to the renovation loan policy, and continued working on revisions to the rental admissions and occupancy policies. Through the diligent efforts of the project management team, the Community Development Department secured approximately $6 million per year for the maintenance and improvements to the band's facilities through the federal 105L leasing program. This not only helps for the maintenance of the band's governmental structures, but also helps to mitigate the negative impact of declining gaming revenue, which the band has depended on for so long. With respect to the Government Center, the project management team is putting together a request for bids to architectural and engineering firms to modify the back of the Government Center to accommodate maintenance and facilities equipment, as well as a facelift to the entire building. Let's give a round of applause to Commissioner Burr, his project management team, and the rest of community development for all of the initiatives they pushed forward in 2025. Regarding the ceremonial buildings, the expansions and improvement of the buildings in both District 1 and District 3 began in the fall, and the interior for each will be completed in the spring. The exterior and parking lots will be finished during the coming summer. These expansions were needed to accommodate the increased number of band members attending our ceremonies. What a great problem it is to have that we must increase the space we have dedicated for our ceremonies because more of our band members are returning to their culture. Miigwech to the members of the Band Assembly, both in their roles as leaders, but also in their drum roles for supporting such needed modifications. Let's give them a round of applause, please. Joe used to get mad at me. He'd be like, how many times are you going to make me clap today? So, Tracy, to keep the momentum going in 2026, I am directing you to work with the band's web developers to create an online real estate listing service whereby band members who own their own home on tribal lands can finally advertise their homes for sale. Ideally, the provision of such a service will enhance the tribal housing market so that homeowners, whether they are empty nesters or simply people who want to change residence, will not be stuck in homes they had previously purchased. If the listing service is executed properly, all band members will have a one-stop shop to know exactly which homes are for sale on tribal lands. As chief executive, one of the most important things I can encourage band members to do is complete your education. As band elder David Muse Sam once said, go out and get an education, not only a high school education, but go on past that. Be someone and come back and help your people. All I would like to add to that is, even if you haven't yet completed your high school education, go ahead and earn your diploma or your GED. It doesn't matter where you're at or what your age is. Start with your high school degree, and if you end up going past that, then more power to you. The band needs you to set and pursue goals not only for yourself, but for the well-being of all of our people. You were born an indispensable member of our band, and we want you to live your best life. So please go out and finish your education, and once you've finished, please consider returning home and sharing your gifts with the band. The commissioner, I rely on to champion education each and every day is none other than Raina Killspotted. Serving as the Commissioner of Education since the end of 2024, Raina has been a steadfast supporter of our children's educations, always focusing on details, always looking for ways to improve, and always keeping the best interests of our children at heart. During the year 2025, Year of the Child, I asked Raina to hire more teachers at Mille Lacs Early Education, expand Ojibwe language and cultural learning opportunities, develop a 5-year strategic plan, and work with the Office of Solicitor General on both the truancy code and proposed revisions to the band's education statute. Raina has made substantial progress on all fronts. 1 year ago, the Mille Lacs Early Education had a combined total of 45 teachers across all of the band's 3 districts. Under Raina's leadership, this number has increased to 61 teachers. The result is that we are now only a couple of staff members away from being able to offer childcare all day on Friday here in District 1. We're getting there. Raina was also successful in getting the new early education program up and running in District 3. This facility consists of 3 classrooms, allowing for the attendance of up to 24 band member children. This not only fills a major gap in District 3's childcare needs, but also opened up employment opportunities for local band members. With respect to expanding Ojibwe language and cultural learning opportunities, the Department of Education has implemented language tables in all 3 districts, worked to establish a credentialing process for language instructors as a pathway for a Tier 3 license with the state of Minnesota, restarted Ojibwe language quiz bowls, established a cultural work group consisting of first language speakers, second language acquisition speakers that oversee the band's Ojibwe language and culture initiatives, and they also updated the scholarships policy. The amendments to the scholarship policy include awards for individuals pursuing bachelor's degrees in teaching the Ojibwe language and a second laptop award for students pursuing postgraduate studies. There are also, this is the cool part, there are also so many band members attending college that we've had to request a 30% increase in funding for our scholarships program. What a fantastic award on a return on investment for our tribal dollars. Our leaders must ensure we have sustainable funding to meet the growing demand for that education. I mentioned the Department of Education's Cultural Work Group. They are also here in attendance today. They are Adrian Benjamin, John Benjamin, Melissa Bobby Ta Boyd, Shirley Boyd, Jim Clark III, Vincent Merrill Sr., Brenda Moose, Byron Ninham, Samantha Pete, William Primo, and Betty Sam. This group has also been instrumental in developing the Ojibwe language immersion classroom in District 1, which is currently recruiting children ages 3 to 5. Miigwech for everything you're doing to instill Ojibwe language and culture within our youth. This is perhaps the most important work that anyone is doing within the band. Let's give them one more round of applause, please. With respect to a 5-year strategic plan, Mille Lacs Early Education has completed a plan for band member children up to the age of 5. Meanwhile, Nehashing schools are currently developing a long-term plan to be aligned with the Bureau of Indian Education, BIE 1 plan. The Department of Education has also worked diligently with the Office of Solicitor General, the Nehashing School Board, and various administrators to propose revisions to the band's education code, including sections addressing truancy. The next step is to propose those revisions to the Assembly and seek out a sponsor. One of Raina's other major accomplishments is the outreach she has performed with our local public schools to connect band member students to Mille Lacs band resources. She also procured $19 million in BIE funding for the upgrade and remodeling of both Nehashing's upper and lower schools. This is the first major upgrade of our schools since they were first built in the 1990s. I'm happy to announce that the construction contracts have been signed and that work began just a few weeks ago. This is a credit not only to Raina's perseverance and passion for our children's education, but also to the power of working together. Raina, I want to say miigwech for all that you do, and I look forward to more great things to come from you in 2026. Let's all give Raina a round of applause, please. Joe would be mad right now, but I forgot to say, and the entire education department, give them a round of applause, please, too. In addition to having a visionary commissioner of education, the Mille Lacs Band is also fortunate to have a dedicated commissioner of natural resources. Kelly Applegate has been serving in this role since 2020, and talk about someone who is meant for a position. Kelly's passion for natural resources and the very gifts that we get from our Creator give him the drive, initiative, and resilience to stand up for the band's environmental interests, no matter what. He has proven time and time again, most notably when pushing back against Talon Metals and the nickel sulfide mine they are planning to install up in Tamarack. Water over nickel is the band's commitment to protect our water, land, and people from the risks of nickel mining. Water connects us to our past, our future, and also each other. The proposed Tamarack mine, just a mile from Round Lake, near sacred sites like Rice Lake and Sandy Lake, pose a risk too great to ignore. There has never, ever, ever been a clean nickel mine. We are taught as Anishinaabe people to protect the earth for the next 7 generations. That's exactly what we're doing through Water Over Nickel. But this initiative wouldn't be possible without the people who show up every day, protecting our water and uplifting our voices. As we celebrate Year of the Child's Successes, I want to recognize the Water Over Nickel youth ambassadors, band youth who are getting involved and protecting our future. These young leaders are helping both band members and Minnesotans understand exactly what's at stake. As I call your names, please stand to be recognized. These leaders are Ileana Abed-White, JJ Abed-White, Albert White III, and Jamin Abed. Let's give them one more round of applause for their advocacy. The Water Over Nickel ambassadors are just a shining example of the example that we're setting as band members. These guys are going to carry that forward for us. Thank you guys so much. I want to say miigwech to Cheyenne Pete for her leadership in guiding this group and ensuring our youth are heard in powerful ways, including last fall's Water Over Nickel Day, where she coordinated a youth dance performance that reminded us that our strength is rooted in culture and connection to this land. And another special miigwech to District 2 representative Wendy Merrill, who represents the district most directly impacted by the proposed Tamarack mine. Her support for Water Over Nickel, our youth, and our band members has helped to ensure this issue gets the attention that it deserves. In mid-2026, the band expects the Minnesota Department of Natural Resources to open the first public comment period on the proposed Tamarack mine. This is a critical moment for band members and all Minnesotans to raise their voices, share their concerns, and advocate for clean water. This is our chance to make it clear that our water is not worth sacrificing, that our cultural lifeways cannot be collateral damage, and that our future deserves better. During the 2025 Year of the Child, I asked Commissioner Applegate to develop new initiatives that engage the band's youth, further connecting them to our natural resources and cultural heritage. As expected, both Kelly and the Department of Natural Resources have come through with flying colors. In 2025, DNR organized a number of successful events that introduced our children to their cultural ways of life. These included sugar bushing, ice fishing, spearing, setting nets, gathering and processing wild rice, as well as learning how to clean fish. DNR also worked with HHS and the Commissioner of Education to create gardening programs for our youth. As Kelly has repeatedly stated, this is not just a one-year occurrence, but a new standard going forward. Our children should never be without opportunities to practice our cultural activities. And with the dedicated hard work of Kelly and the entire DNR team, we are setting a shining example for future generations to follow. Let's give Kelly and DNR a round of applause, please. My hands are sweaty. On a recent victory, one recent victory for the band with respect to natural resources is that of the Wilmus property. The Wilmus property refers to a 3,200-acre parcel of land in Morrison County, contiguous to the reservation, which the band purchased in 1992. Given the property's makeup, the band's original intent in making the purchase was wildlife preservation and the practice of our treaty rights. In 2015, DNR initiated the lengthy 16-step process for the land to be held by the United States in trust for the Mille Lacs Band. And although Morrison County resisted the transfer, a recent decision agreed with the band that the Wilmus property is in fact contiguous to the reservation and therefore eligible for trust status. There are more steps to clear before the property is taken into trust, but as of now, the future looks very bright. when I get to what I'm telling them to do, I always smile a little bit because they don't know it's coming. Although the free to trust process is a lengthy one, Kelly has also done a commendable job preparing the band's properties to enter that process. Along with Community Development's Earthworks teams, he has done that by cleaning up various dilapidated structures throughout the reservation. Miigwech to the Earthworks team for getting that important work done, as well as the band assembly for their support. Kelly, in 2026, I want you to not only develop a long-term fee to trust strategy for the band, but also take a hard look at archives to make sure the band's most sacred historical documents are being properly cataloged and kept safe. Let's keep, yeah, go ahead. Let's keep up that great progress in 2026. 1 second. I was just thinking about that fry bread we don't have. Next, we have Health and Human Services. While the department does not currently have a commissioner, its work continues at the highest level. Thanks to the extraordinary leadership team Nicole Anderson helped build, under Nicole's exemplary leadership, HHS transitioned several departments into a one-stop clinical service for band members, providing both on-site primary and specialty care. Her business acumen, strategic vision, and ability to turn plans into action improved access to care and streamlined workflows across the organization. Commissioner Anderson worked tirelessly, often beyond the bounds of a typical workday, to ensure safe, high-quality care for all of our band members. The system's processes and culture she established continue to guide the department every day, ensuring her vision for the band's health and human services and wellness remain very strong within that department. Miigwech to Nicole for her dedication, leadership, and lasting contributions to the Mille Lacs Band. Let's give her a round of applause, please. In 2025, I tasked HHS with getting the Child Advocacy Center up and running, establishing a woman's halfway house in District 1, developing a plan to increase access to dental services, and the modernizing of the information technology platforms for elder, emergency, victim, and family services. Just a few weeks ago, I had the pleasure of attending the grand opening of the Child Advocacy Center in Wakan. This center is designed to be a safe, welcoming place where children and families can go for support when something difficult has happened. Miigwech to Nicole Anderson, Carmen Kelk, Kurt Kelk Jr., and everyone else who worked to establish this center. Because of you and your efforts, both our children and families are stronger. Now, even during the most difficult of times, they will have a place to reunite and to seek comfort. Let's give them a round of applause for that. With respect to the Women's Halfway House, HHS has developed an estimated budget along with a tentative design. The department is hoping to solicit construction bids in April of this year and to begin renovation in early summer. HHS is also working on renovations for both its District 2 and District 3 facilities. Once renovations are complete, the old senior living facility in East Lake will be converted into HHS's new satellite location for the area, along with such programs as food shelf, dental, substance use, behavioral health, and family services. The District 3 dental facility will also be receiving a long-awaited facelift. Finally, HHS is expected to fully convert its data processing from on-site to the cloud within the next 8 months. Having gone more than 6 months without a commissioner, I want to say miigwech to all HHS staff for persevering no matter what. Specifically, I'd like to say miigwech to Executive Director of Health Services, Jan Mannery, and Executive Director of Human Services, Carmen Kelk. Your leadership throughout the past 6 months has been more than exemplary. Let's give them a round of applause, please. At last, we have Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures. Although the Commissioner of Corporate Affairs position has been vacant for the past year, I continue to work with the Band Assembly on finding the right person to look after the band's businesses. I'm also working with the Band Assembly on finalizing the details of how the Ventura project will be rolled out for occupancy. As I've repeatedly stated, the Ventura project represents an important site for our urban membership as a Mille Lacs band stake in the ground in the heart of Minneapolis. Once fully rolled out, Ventura will not only house all of the band's programs and services currently being offered to our urban membership, but will also provide 36 much-needed apartment units. Oh. Belly just big. In 2025, Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures worked diligently and made some excruciatingly difficult decisions. These tough decisions resulted in millions in savings from the company's proposed FY 2025 budget, as well as a substantial increase in band member employment. I want to say miigwech to the Corporate Board of Directors, Jen Gabo, Bradley Harrington, Paul Sam, Julie Ziegler-Dunkley, and now Bernita Humatoa for all the work and dedication they've set forth while the band has gone without a commissioner, corporate commissioner. Give them a round of applause, please. The corporate board has been exercising an increased level of responsibility from previous years, and I couldn't be prouder of the way they have risen to that challenge. Their dedication has shown over the past year, keeping the band's businesses running in an effective manner. It is truly admirable. Give them one more round of applause, please. The year 2025 also saw Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures enter into a new partnership with the Minnesota Wild, which, for the first time ever, has allowed Grand Casinos to be in the national spotlight and put the name of our casinos in the lexicon of so many more people than before. Only a couple of months ago, the Wild hosted a Native American Heritage Night at Grand Casino Arena that represented a beautiful celebration of Anishinaabe and Mille Lacs band culture, including Mille Lacs band singers, dancers, and a tribal flag ceremony. The event also saw the first ever hockey game broadcast completely in Ojibwe, a truly seminal moment for our people. Miigwech to all the Anishinaabe speakers for the play-by-play, as well as band member Melissa Bobbytah Boyd, who came up with the idea. We have a video that we'd like to share from the CEO of the Minnesota Wild.
To all of our friends at Grand Casino and the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. Matt Maka, CEO of the Minnesota Wild here. We are so proud of our partnership with you, which is in early stages, of course. We've known you for many years as a sweet customer, but here you are now, our naming rights partner of our beautiful arena, and we couldn't be more proud to stand with you and have the season that we're having with the Wild and our concerts that appeared at the Grand Casino Arena, and everything's going along great. We're having one of our best Wild seasons ever, and we're glad you are a part of it. You have been a great partner to us in understanding our values and your values and how they mesh together. And we're just looking for bigger and brighter things ahead, and we expect they'll be there. Again, one of our best seasons ever so far. Hopefully it ends in a really special way for all of us, and we establish a bright future for many years to come. So thank you again. Really proud to be your partner. Thank you.
Just take a moment. So just take a moment and imagine 40,000 people attending a Wild game, cheering on our jingle dancers and our singers. Let's give them a round of applause, please. I want to say miigwech to the singers, dancers, and Ogetchida that made that night so special. We had all of the tribal nations' flags, all of their eagle staves, as you've seen in the video, all on the ice. It was a very, very powerful moment for us all to come together. I wanted to mention this earlier, but when we come together as tribal nations, we've never been stronger. We're building great relationships. As you can see with the other eagle staffs here and the flags here, we're really building what it means to be Anishinaabe, and people are listening now. Again, 40,000 people cheering on our jingle dress dancers. I don't know that it's ever happened. Let's do one more round of applause, please. Since 1991, gaming has brought our people benefits we had never experienced before. Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures, despite its ups and downs, has been instrumental in providing financial support to both our people and our government for more than 3 decades. But like any industry, gaming is constantly evolving with new competitors, technology, and consumer habits emerging all the time. We must stay ahead of these trends, or risk being left behind or relying on an outdated business model. Instead, we focus on how we can best serve our patrons, and in doing so, ensure we are taking care of our own people. When it comes to our casinos, I suggest we get back to the basics. By that I mean good food, buffets, a potential kids zone, and all the little things that make a visit fun for the whole family. In the 1990s, Indian casinos were new and offered experiences you couldn't get outside of Las Vegas or Atlantic City. Those days are behind us, but I feel we've let go of a few important aspects of that business model. It's time to take a second look at those elements and bring them back. Let's make our casinos the place to be again for a weekday fun or a weekend getaway. In other words, let's make our casinos a family-friendly destination once more. In addition to borrowing from past practices that seem to have worked, we also have to evolve as our client base and demographics change. I suggest that we redouble our efforts with the state legislature so that we can help bring responsible sports betting to Minnesota. Although a small margin business, brick and mortar sports betting would give consumers a new reason to cross our casino floor, another space for leisure, and some other way they can enjoyably pass the time with their hard-earned money. I believe that sports betting can meet that need, and it's a way to prepare ourselves for the future. I insist that we make that effort. Another exciting area for growth, although not part of our gaming enterprises, is wholesale and retail cannabis. Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures engages in these lines of business through its subsidiary, Lakeleaf Cultivation. In 2025, Lakeleaf opened up 3 retail cannabis dispensaries, 1 in each district. Despite limited space and starting without a full menu of products, the Mille Lacs and Hinckley dispensaries have been profitable every month since they've opened. On a wholesale note, Lakeleaf products are now available for sale in 9 state licensed dispensaries, with about 6 more to come online this month. This is a really cool part here. Moreover, of the 95 people employed at Lakeleaf, 46 of them nearly 50% are our very own Mille Lacs band members. Miigwech to all of the Lake Leaf employees who worked so hard to develop this business. I now call on the band assembly to appropriate funding for permanent dispensaries in both Hinckley and Mille Lacs. Let's finish the investment and give these businesses a chance to succeed to their utmost potential. Perhaps the most important part of being chief executive is looking after the band's relationships with the federal, the state, and our local governments, as well as our tribal partners. I'm proud to say that these relationships remain strong, and in many cases, stronger than ever. With Mille Lacs County in particular, we've made steady progress. I'm encouraged to see our partnership continue to grow and strengthen. Thank you for coming here today. The work we've done together is a reminder that collaboration and mutual respect can carry us all forward. Last February, the 8th Circuit Court of Appeals, at our request, dismissed the band's lawsuit with Mille Lacs County as moot or irrelevant on the grounds that the law enforcement issue has been resolved by a change to Minnesota state law. Since the conclusion of that litigation, the band has also entered into a new law enforcement agreement with Mille Lacs County to ensure that our District 1 and 2A communities receive the type of policing they can rely on. Whether our reservation exists has never been a question for us, and our law enforcement officers have more authority now than they did before. Or did I keep rubbing it on my chest? It's my chest, not my belly. I'm just spitting on it. Band member or not, the public safety of all Mille Lacs County residents is more consistent throughout the county now. Thank you guys so much. Was I rubbing against this mic a lot or what? Miigwech to Mark Slonim, Beth Baldwin, and their exceptional team of legal experts, along with our Mille Lacs Band Solicitor General Caleb Dogeagle. Their dedication, skill, and tireless effort have carried much of the heavy lifting, ensuring that our work is grounded in excellence and precision. Miigwech also to all of our dedicated tribal police officers and first responders who work around the clock to ensure that our communities remain safe. At the state level, in September of last year, I had the pleasure of signing Minnesota's second ever cannabis compact with a federally recognized Indian tribe. White Earth was the first nation to do so. Then after ours was completed, Prairie Island, Fond du Lac, Leech Lake, Red Lake, and now Boys Fort have followed suit. These compacts are sovereign to sovereign high-level agreements that ensure all band-regulated cannabis activity can access the state cannabis market according to a fair and robust regulatory structure that ensures consumer-safe cannabis product. Moreover, the Mille Lacs Band's compact was the final step in making sure that Lake Leaf's business model could finally be realized. Miigwech to the Mille Lacs Corporate Ventures employees who worked on this compact, as well as the governor's office for giving tribes the opportunity to be key players in this emerging market. I want to say miigwech to the Department of Cannabis Regulation, Board of Directors, and its Executive Director, Becky Houle, for all the work they did in 2025 to get the band's cannabis regulatory framework up and running. Although the department was created under ban law in 2023, the board itself was not filled until 2024, and the executive director was not hired until March of 2025. Since that time, the DCR has established a home office, purchased necessary equipment, contracted with independent legal consultants and an online licensing system provider, and developed consistent budget, board, and introductory procedures for cannabis operating within the ban's sovereign jurisdiction. The DCR has already issued 6 cannabis business licenses, 9 vendor licenses, and 95 employee licenses. They have also adopted 18 separate cannabis regulations, with at least 5 more to come. The work that the DCR accomplished in 2025 was so substantial that I've invited the board members here today to be recognized. The board members are Krista Klug, Dan Claypool, Toya Stewart Downey, Jamie Thomas Rassett, and Stephen LaPrairie. Now that all your applause are done, if you're present, please just give a little wave, please. Let's give them one more round of applause, please. At the state level, the Mille Lacs Band, through the Minnesota Indian Gaming Association, or MIGA, has lent its support to a bill that would ban sweepstakes gaming across the state. I can't say that word. Sweepstakes gaming is online gambling that allows players to use virtual coins to play casino games for cash and prizes. Fortunately, last November, Minnesota Attorney General Keith Ellison issued letters to 14 operators of such illegal games to shut down the activity. This is the type of activity that poses a threat to the band's gaming revenues, both now and in the long run. Therefore, in addition to the sports betting legislation that I mentioned earlier, I call on our Department of Government Affairs to keep a close eye on this legislation for the protection and preservation of Indian gaming long into the future. Speaking of Attorney General Ellison, I see that he's here in the audience today. Miigwech for coming, Keith. It really means a lot. It really means a lot to the Mille Lacs Band that you would attend and be with us here today. And having gotten to know you a little better, I know that you are the exact same person in person as you are on TV. And I want you to know that I really admire the way that you stand up for people from underprivileged communities, not just in Indian country, but other communities as well. At the federal level, hold on, I need a drink of water. For this is vodka. At the federal level, we all know things have been challenging, to say the least. When I first took office as chief executive, the Biden administration was finishing up a series of regulations and other initiatives, but the world changed quickly. First with the 2024 election, and then with the swearing in of a new president in January of 2025, the creation of the Department of Government Efficiency was something that few of us expected, and the cuts they made to the federal government have been felt far and wide, including by tribal nations. We have adapted and we have overcome, but the complications continue to mount. Only a few months ago, the federal government was shut down for a record 40 days. Yet again, the Mille Lacs Band, along with other tribal nations, committed to stand up for our members in quick response. In recent weeks, We have all witnessed the impact of increased activity by federal ICE agents in Minneapolis and within all of our communities. These events have created fear, uncertainty, and deep concern for our families and our communities. Just last week, an ICE agent shot and killed Renee Good, a 37-year-old mother in Minneapolis. As Anishinaabe, we understand the importance of safety, dignity, and respect for all human beings. We must be clear in denouncing violence and harm in all of its forms, standing firm in our beliefs of compassion, unity, and collective responsibility. We are, after all, a treaty nation, and our band's treaties are the highest law of the land. That's why we defend. Like Ogitchida in battle, the rule of law that secures us, the treaty rights our ancestors obtained in exchange for valuable resources. The rule of law means law enforcement must be lawful. No one is above the law. I want our membership to know that our leadership is closely monitoring developments and actively working 24/7 to protect the safety and well-being of all of our people. As a sovereign tribal government, the Mille Lacs Band holds a unique place in America's system of governance. All agencies of the United States government, including ICE, have a trust and treaty obligation to respect our band's tribal sovereignty and to ensure that the band and our members are not unduly harassed or harmed by law enforcement activities that have nothing to do with our tribe or tribal law. In this regard, we are redoubling our ongoing efforts to engage on a government-to-government basis in robust consultation with the United States government to insist that any immigration or other law enforcement activity on our reservation or band property can be done only after consultation with and the consent of the band. I want our membership to know that your leadership is actively engaged, working on your behalf, monitoring developments closely, and advocating to protect the well-being of our people. At the same time, I encourage everyone to remain vigilant, to look out for one another, and to stay grounded in our Anishinaabe values. If we move forward together, calm, informed, and united, we can meet this moment with strength and resolve. Holding on to hope for the future, defined not by fear, but by dignity, opportunity, and the continued resilience of our people. It's a tough world we're living in right now, and together, right, let's reach out, let's protect one another. We got to come back together. People are split, right? You've seen it on Facebook. We live it every day. Everybody's split right down the middle, and we're utilizing that time to harm each other. As Anishinaabe, we wouldn't be here if we didn't know how to come together during tough times. So let's continue to come back together. It's hard, man. Fear brings out the worst in all of us. But together, that strength will be shown. Please give yourselves and your families a round of applause, please. One last crazy world we live in, right, before moving on. One silver lining on the federal level is the Department of Treasury's completion of final regulations under the Tribal General Welfare Exclusion Act. We know it as GWE. These rules are the result of years of advocacy and consultation by the Mille Lacs Band and other tribal governments and the Treasury Tribal Advisory Committee, which I had the privilege of testifying before early in my term. The regulations strengthen tribal sovereignty and provide new flexibility. Specifically, the new rules make it easier for the band to support our members' well-being, economic development, and cultural activities, all while respecting tribal sovereignty and reducing tax burdens for our members. So it's now up to us to take a close look at the various programs we have in place and make sure we're providing them in a tax-exempt manner for the utmost benefit of our band members. That is something we should all be excited about and represents a huge win for Indian country. When it comes to the band's government-to-government relationships, I'd like to close with the topic of Minnesota Chippewa Tribe, MCT. As our Mille Lacs Band constitutional delegates have pointed out, the three things that connect the band to MCT are land, and elections, and enrollments. And those connections, sadly, don't always work out well for us. In July of last year, the MCT Tribal Executive Committee approved Resolution 90-25, adopting federal regulations for the purpose of calculating the number of eligible voters required to amend the MCT Constitution. Since a secretarial election to amend the MCT Constitution is only valid if called by a vote of 30% of those entitled to vote, this 30% number will now be calculated based on the total number of registered voters and not the total number of MCT tribal members who are of voting age. Now, if, for example, a secretarial election was called to amend the MCT Constitution to lower blood quantum requirements for enrollments, band members would first have to register for the vote in order to be counted amongst the 30%. I don't support that, and that's why I voted against the resolution. As I stated at last year's State of the Band, any determination about the Mille Lacs Band's enrollment requirements should be made by the Mille Lacs Band, specifically by our members and not anyone else. I'll continue to keep that stance. One final thing I'd like to say about the MCT is that in the event that the Mille Lacs Band ever gets an opportunity to stand on its own, I want us to be ready. We are blessed with a dedicated and hard-working group of delegates who have already started to work on a draft constitution. I fully support that work and call on all band members to educate themselves about the process. If there ever is an opportunity for the Mille Lacs Band to govern itself under its own constitution, we cannot be caught flat-footed. Let's do the work now so that someday, maybe someday, the Mille Lacs Band will have a constitution that we can call our own. As I close today, I'd like to return to our traditional Anishinaabe values: wisdom, love, respect, honesty, bravery, and truth. As times get tougher and challenges continue to mount, these are the values that guide us. Think of our elders and all the things that they've seen during their lifetimes. Think of our blessings and all the sacrifices that were made so that we could have them today. We really are so fortunate to be the non-removable Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe. You may have noticed that I said miigwech to a lot of people today. There's a reason for that. I've said miigwech to these people because I cannot do this work alone. And these are some of the people who are making substantial contributions day in and day out. I call now on the members of the non-removable Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe to make your own contributions in whatever way. Let's help each other out. Finish your education. Set aside more time for cultural practices. Learn the Ojibwe language. The band needs you and values what you have to offer. And in finding your own way to contribute, never forget who you are. Anishinaabe, miigwech, it's an honor and a privilege. Aha.
Miigwech, Chief Executive Wind. The last song for today is an honor song composed by Nawi Giwis Aban, Jim Clark, to be sang specifically for the State of the Band address for the people of the Mille Lacs Band of Ojibwe to celebrate and bless us. We will now hear our Mille Lacs drummers with the honor song. Miigwech, Mille Lacs Band singers.
We'll recess this session of band assembly and we'll pick it up across the street after everyone eats. Miigwech.
Lastly, this event wouldn't happen without the help of so many. Yesterday afternoon, we set a dish and Wabash Kigabo, John Benjamin, prayed for safe travels for all, a successful State of the Band event, and a successful year ahead for the Mille Lacs Band. Miigwech, Wabash Kigabo, for your prayers last night. Let's give him a... We appreciate the ceremonial drum, the singers, the color guard, visiting veterans, royalty, all the volunteers, our visiting dignitaries, and everyone else who made the 42nd annual State of the Band address possible. And a special miigwech to all of you who joined us online and also in person. Our lunch will be served next. Please join us for the commissioner videos during lunch. Following the videos, Ogitub Max Blake will play the flute. At this time, banquet staff will begin serving elders. I'd like to ask for volunteers to come forward to assist in serving the remainder of our elders. All others will be released to the buffet line by the banquet staff. This concludes the 42nd Annual State of the Band Address. Miigwech, and have a safe new year.